Hello, hello. All right, guys, this is part 2 of the Q&A. Thank you for watching the video. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe, hit that like button, and leave me a comment. I do get a little bit ranty or a little heated on the subject that I talk about in this video. It is my opinion, so if you disagree, you're totally allowed to do that. And if you do disagree, let me know in the comments, but don't be a jerk about it. I am open to hearing other sides of the story. But yeah, it's really just this video I felt like could go on its own because this question is super important and I actually feel very passionate about what I talk about in this one about if you should do a prep or not. But yeah, so really it's just talking about things you don't think about or things people from the outside don't think about or what people don't talk about quite enough. So I'll definitely be going into the last question I answer in more vlogs in much more detail and basically exactly how I'm going to execute moving forward. So thank you guys for watching and I hope you enjoy the video. So let's get right into the question. Okay, so what are some things that no one tells you about shows and prep? Okay, so we're gonna do some deeper dive ones and some fun ones. So let's start with some medium ones. So what no one talks about is that improvements are not actually made during prep. You make no improvements during prep. You get leaner, you lose body fat, but you're not actually improving during a prep. So improvements come from growing muscle and building your body, hence the name bodybuilding. And that only happens when you're not on prep. So that often I think people feel like prep is like, oh, that's where all the changes are made. No, prep is where you're leaning out and you're showing all of those things that you worked on between shows, all those things that you improved upon. Like we can now see my shoulders are bigger than they were, which is awesome. But that's the improvement, is that I grew my shoulders between the last show and this show, and just leaning out helps show that off a little bit more. So improvements are made in the improvement season, not during prep. Prep is just leaning out. It's the end stage of competing. It's like the last bit of getting on stage. And I feel like that gets lost in all the glamorized aspects of prep. Hence, like, I mean, I'm doing a vlog. I'm not like out of it, but it's the last stages is the leaning out. The improvement season is where you make improvements, hence its name. It used to be called the off season, but it's not. It is the improvement season. All right, let's do some fun ones and then we'll get into some deeper ones. So some things that no one tells you that are kind of lighthearted and fun is you're gonna be eating out of Tupperware and baggies a lot. Just learn to deal with it. You're gonna be eating in the car out of Tupperware. You're gonna be eating in the airport out of baggies. You're gonna be eating cold food. It's just part of it. It's just how it goes. It's not that bad. Find food that tastes good cold. That's all. Like, you can do it, I promise. I have. You'll be cold a lot. Speaking of cold food, once you get lean, you're frozen all the time. Your body fat is low. It's not holding in that heat. You're cold. I'm cold. Right now I'm not. It's like 85. But I'm cold even when it's like 75. You're cold all the time. Your clothes all get too big. All of my pants and shorts are too big. And I will not be staying this lean. So hopefully they'll fit after this. But the goal is to not gain as much weight as I was at prior to this prep because I was a little heavier than I wanted to be. Well, I was fine where I was at, but if I want to be competitive in this sport, I don't want to have to lose that much weight again to get competitive lean. So I'll be putting on a little bit of weight after the show, ideally. But yeah, none of your clothes fit. Get a belt. I even tried a belt on that I had, and the belt wouldn't go small enough. I was like, oh, geez, this sucks. So that's a fun fact. Also on show day, when you have a tan, any like little drips of water can mess it up. And so that includes when you go pee. So most people pee in like a cup with a hole poked in it, so nothing like splashes anywhere. Yeah, fun fact. Can't wear deodorant or anything because it'll turn your tan green. Tan's really delicate. The tan's freaking annoying. I wish hopefully someday we'll get a future where the tan is less delicate than it is now, and you can actually, you know, not stress about it too much. But yeah, that's another fun one. And you're gonna be tired some days especially toward the end. There's just no way around it. Calories are low, cardio is probably higher. You're trying to get lean, and an uncomfortable, not necessarily unhealthy, but just uncomfortable lean. A lean that you have to work for. And you're gonna be tired sometimes. There's no way around it, and that's okay. Okay, some other things people don't tell you are you can still be social. You can still go out and do things. Not everything has to revolve around food. I just went out and painted in pottery last weekend, and it was great. Had nothing to do with food. You can still be social while you're on prep. Toward the end, it might be a little harder because seeing other people eat if they're around you might be hard for you. I've gotten more used to it, and I can still go do stuff. I don't know if I'd like want to go sit down at a restaurant with people, but that's when you ask your friends, if they're really your friends, let's go do stuff that doesn't revolve around food. And that gets you all creative. So it's like a win-win. More creative, more things to do, and everyone learns how to have fun without being around food or booze, which is great because everyone should learn how to do that. All of your fun and all of your hanging out shouldn't revolve around food or drinking. Personal opinion, I guess. But okay, now let's talk about a little bit of the deeper stuff that no one talks about. You got to be in the right place to do a prep. Prep gets a bad rap. Competing gets a bad rap. They're like, oh, all the people that compete have eating disorders or body dysmorphia or blah, 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 blah. They're like, there's something wrong and it's bad, or it ruined my life. Oh, it ruined my relationship with food. And no, it doesn't do that. It only does that if you are going into a prep hoping to fix something. Prep is never going to fix anything. Prep is hard. You need to be in a good place physically and mentally before going into a prep. You cannot hope prep is going to make you feel better about your body, because it's not. It will not do it. You need to be 100% confident in your body before you do a prep. You need to love how you look and feel and who you are before doing a prep, because it will not fix it. It'll probably make it worse. And that is when you get those people that say prep ruined their life or ruined something because they were hoping it would fix it. And that's not the point of a prep. The point of a prep is to challenge you, not fix something. And it's definitely not going to fix your relationship with food. You should not do a prep just to lose weight, because it doesn't teach you how to eat like a normal person. It teaches you how to prep. It doesn't teaches you discipline, I suppose, but the key to long-term weight loss is learning how to function as a normal person, and prep does not do that. Prep is not going to fix your eating issues. It's not going to fix your body image issues. It's not going to do any of those things. It's just going to exacerbate it. Even if while you're on prep, you're feeling really good, feel like you're under control, that post-prep is where it gets really hard, that post-show. And that's where people are just like, oh, it wrecked everything for me. And that can come from trying to have it fix things for you, or it can come from maybe a bad coach going about prep in a poor way. But you need to be in a place where you are already happy with yourself. You are comfortable around food. You're like, there is no issues here. I feel great. I love everything about me. I love everything. I'm totally comfortable with food. There's no issues here. You need to be there before you even think about starting a prep, because prep is not going to fix it for you. It's probably going to make it worse. I mean, if you have body image issues, you're going into a show that judges your body, probably not the best idea. If you have eating issues, you're going into a prep that you have to meticulously track all of your food and weigh and measure yourself. Yeah, no, that's not going to help. So if you want to do a prep because you want to challenge yourself and you want that sense of accomplishment, yes. If you're doing it to try and fix something or to feel better about how you look, no, do not do that. You need to like all that stuff first. One of my biggest pet peeves that you maybe not think about is you're going to get a lot of, oh, don't get too skinny. Don't get too lean. Don't get unhealthy. You need to be safe. You're going to get that a lot. We live in a world where most people are overweight or obese. So being lean is abnormal. I'm not unhealthy right now. Even though I'm very lean, I am still in a healthy weight. I'm at a healthy amount of calories, actually. Low for me, but I'm at around 1,500, which for some people, that's their normal day. I am not unhealthy. Now, the sport isn't made for health, though. So that's another misconception. You don't prep to get healthier. Like I said, you don't use prep as a way to lose weight. It doesn't teach you how to lose weight and function. It's a sport. You're training for a sport. It's like a marathon. You don't run 20 miles just to be healthy. You run 20 miles because you're training for something. You run 26 miles because you are training for a purpose, and prep is the same way. You don't prep to get healthy. You should already be healthy, and then you prep, but prep doesn't make you unhealthy automatically just because you're getting leaner. Like, that's especially for bikini. Bikini girls don't get that lean. I mean, really, I think the leanest usually is like 14% body fat, which is pretty lean, don't get me wrong, but that's not like anything like insanity wrong or lean. So that's something no one tells you, and it is weird how annoying it gets. I think it's because like, oh, I'm working so hard to do this, and you're just telling me, actually, don't work so hard. We're worried about you, that you're getting too lean. And that just comes from not being familiar with the sport, and so just gotta let it roll off. But that's a fun fact, so that's something you probably didn't think about. So the last one is, what is the hardest part that everyone goes through that people maybe don't talk about as much? Or don't think about, because people do talk about it. If you watch, well, some people talk about it. I don't know how many people really do, but I'm going to talk about it after my show. So we'll talk about it a little bit right now. It is post-show. It is coming out of a prep. And even though this prep, overall, I have felt amazing. I haven't had any insane cravings or anything like that. It is still going to be a challenge to stay controlled post-show. And my previous preps, I haven't done the best. I haven't done the worst, don't get me wrong. But your body's hungry. It's like, we gotta get this body fat back. So it sends you all sorts of crazy signals. Like, you got your hunger hormone be like, eat, eat, eat. And the hormone that tells you you're full doesn't signal. And it's just, it's a lot of control. You have to use a lot of control. And since there's no like show day hanging right in front of you, you don't have that like, I gotta be ready for that show. So you don't have like that date to help motivate you. And so it's like, oh, this won't hurt. Oh, I can have like this giant thing of fries. Oh, it'll be okay if I do this. And so showing that self-control and discipline is much harder post-show. And that is going to be my number one goal. And I'm excited to really work toward it this show, because last shows I gained about 10 to 15 pounds, but I was not this lean. So I'd like to gain probably about 10 to 12 pounds after this show, gain it back, maybe even a little less. I don't know, we'll see. So the control. And honestly, the gaining of the weight itself, like putting on more body fat, doesn't bug me, like whatever. I was totally happy with how I looked 20 pounds ago. It was fine. I was totally in a healthy range. I know a lot of people struggle with like losing the abs and stuff, and which, I mean, it's cool to be shredded, but I'm okay with not being super shredded too. The hardest part is just the mental aspect for me, and the controlling of my nutrition. And I feel like it's not talked about, and it's just hard because I've already had people ask me, what are you gonna have after the show? And like, what are you most looking forward to? And I'm looking forward to the show, and I'm people actually expect you to overeat, and it's weird not to. And so like, it's very common in our society to overeat, overindulge. And so it's very easy to get caught up in that. And you almost like the too skinny, don't get too lean, you're being unhealthy attitude. You get like the, oh, just eat a burger, it'll be fine. Just one, it won't hurt. And so it feeds into that mentality, like, yeah, that's fine, it's fine. And then plus you got the hunger hormones going nuts. It could be hard. And I feel like that's not talked about enough. And you just need to have a plan post-show. And I think more people need to talk about that you need a plan, and it's okay to have a plan for post-show, which I do. I will share with you in coming videos. Still ironing out the details. But yeah, that's another big one that I feel like gets kind of swept under the rug, and that it's difficult post-show. That probably gets lumped in with the competing gives you an eating disorder type of thing, where it doesn't. It's just, it's a brief moment, but since your body is so delicate and you've been lower on calories and stuff like that, even though it's a brief amount of time that's difficult, it doesn't take much to like just completely rebound on the scale and body fat wise. And at the end of a show, a lot of it's going to be body fat if you're putting on a lot, just because of how the body's working right then. And so it gets like, oh, eating disorders or eating issues, but it's not really. But it is a challenge, and it does take control and self-discipline, and that's something that really needs talked about more, that you need a plan. You need to know what you're going to do post-show. You need a goal post-show, and I'm already working on a goal post-show, so that will help too. So you still have like that date. I just like to have goals. That's just, I'm very motivated by having a date and a goal, even if it's far off, and that's part of my plan. Yeah, that looks like it's all. So ending that on a depressing note. Overall though, it's worth it for me. I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy the end result. I'm super excited for the show. I cannot wait for the 28th. I'm so excited. Today's a good day. Feeling good today. And that's it. That's all the questions. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed my answers and that I wasn't too boring for you, and I hope you learned something. Thank you guys so much, and I cannot wait to share my 2 weeks out and my peak week. And peak week, there's going to be like 3 or 4 vlogs. I'm excited to do like a few, like peak week, like 3 days out, 2 days out, 1 day out, like show day. Woo, it's going to be so much fun. Okay, super excited for the show. I hope you are too. It's going to be great, no matter the outcome, like I said. And I will catch you guys in the next video. If you haven't, hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment, let me know you're watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, peeps.